The clock is officially ticking. On Sunday morning, April 5th, 2026, the world woke up to a Truth Social post that sent shockwaves through the Pentagon and the New York Stock Exchange. President Trump has issued a final, selectively ultimatum to Tehran: reopen the Strait of Hormuz by Tuesday or face what he's calling Power Plant Day. We're currently 5 weeks in Operation Epic Fury. The U.S. and Israel have already taken out the supreme leader and crippled Iran's navy, but the global economy is bleeding. Tech stocks are down 25%. Brent crude is knocking on the door of $120 a barrel. And right now, we got some good news, though, today that the U.S. pilot that was missing behind enemy lines has been found back in the U.S. hands. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the next 48 hours. We're breaking down the tactical reality of a strike on civilian infrastructure, why the satellite blackout is keeping you in the dark, and most importantly, how you need to position your portfolio before the opening bell on Monday. Because if the Strait doesn't open, the market we knew in March is officially dead. Let's look at the map. Trump's threat isn't just retort, it's a specific targeting shift. Up until now, the main focus has been on counterforce targets, missile silos, IRGC command centers, and the Kharg Island oil terminals. But the Power Plant Day changes the rules of engagement. By threatening bridges and civilian electricity, the U.S. is moving toward a total pressure campaign. Under international law, these are dual-use targets, and the UN is already screaming war crimes. But from the strategic point of view, the goal is simple: trigger a domestic collapse within Iran so they're forced to stop the maritime blockade. The problem: Iran isn't backing down. They've spent the weekend launching asymmetric strikes on power plants in Kuwait and the UAE. They're proving that if their lights go out, the entire Gulf goes dark with them. If you're watching the news and seeing satellite imagery unavailable, there's a reason for that. Sources like Planet Labs are being restricted. We are entering a fog of war phase where the only way to know what's going on is to watch the energy markets overall. Why is this 48-hour window so critical? Because the Strait of Hormuz is the jugular vein of the global economy. 20% of the world's oil and LNG flows through that tiny gap. Right now, it is functionally closed to Western tankers. But there's the business angle no one is talking about: the secret corridor. Reports from Bloomberg show that while the US and UK ships are blocked, some tankers are getting through, but only if they pay the IRGC in Chinese yuan or cryptocurrency. This isn't just a military blockade, it's a direct assault on the petrodollar. China and Russia are at the UN Security Council right now, blocking any resolution that would authorize force of reopen the strait. They are perfectly happy watching the U.S. burn through its Tomahawk reserves, reportedly 850 missiles fired so far, while the West pays the war tax at the gas pumps. For you as a viewer, this means inflation cooling we saw in late 2025 is over. Morgan Stanley is already modeling a 0.35% jump in headline CPI for every 10% raise in oil. If Tuesday comes and the power plants are hit, $150 oil isn't a secret tactic, it's a baseline. Let's talk about your money. This week, the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 officially slid into correction territory. If you've looked at your brokerage account lately, it's a sea of red, especially in tech. Microsoft, Meta, and Nvidia has taken massive 25% hit. Why? Two reasons. First, the second moment shock. Markets don't actually hate bad news, they hate uncertainty. We don't know if this war ends on Tuesday or if it drags into a 6-month occupation. Second, the yield spike. 10-year treasuries just hit 4.37%. When yields go that high, the future earnings of tech companies become less valuable today. But here's the contrarian take. While the retail crowd is panicking, the smart money is watching the defense sector. Raytheon and Lockheed are the obvious plays, but look deeper: industrial resilience. Barclays just released data showing that while 66% of businesses are feeling the energy squeeze, 78% of CEOs remain confident in their long-term sectoral outlook. We are seeing a massive rotation. The AI hype era is being replaced by the war economy era. If you are holding cash, you are losing to inflation. If you are holding high multiples tech, you are catching a falling knife. The play right now is energy, defense, and interestingly, silver, which is acting as a weird hybrid of a safe haven and an industrial hedge. Talking more about the recently downed pilot. If we didn't find that pilot, there would be no room for Monday negotiations, but we found the pilot and we got him safely home. So we have some room for more negotiations by Monday or Tuesday. We are also seeing a bad trend on prediction markets. People are literally betting on whether this pilot lives or dies. That is insane. It is a grim reminder of how fintech has gamified event most tragic parts of this conflict. But from a geopolitical standpoint, finding this pilot has put us in a good position. So what's a good plan for Monday? Tomorrow morning, stock market will open up at 9:30 a.m. Trump's deal is supposed to be finalized by 10:05 a.m. If we don't see a headline about the straight reopening by then, expect a limit down day for the markets. Some things to watch. You can watch Brent crude ticker. If it breaks 120 and stays there, the inflation trade is back on. Watch the 10-year yield as well. If it crosses 4.5%, tech stocks have another 5 to 10% to fall. Keep an eye on the satellite fog as well. If we are seeing leaked images of an Iranian troops movements towards the strait, the power plant strikes have likely already been greenlit. We are living through a historic realignment of global power and finance. The next 48 hours will decide if 2026 is the year of great reset or the year of a great recovery. I'll be live tweeting the opening bell on Tuesday deadline. Make sure you've hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss an emergency update if these strikes go live. Stay safe, stay hedged, and I'll see you in the next one. Watch some shorts. Peace out.